everybody, welcome to Go Live with Glow. This is Iconic Glow. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. And this episode is being sponsored by Tease Toys, which is a black-owned female sex toy company based out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She sent me over some great toys. You guys can check out my last post on Wednesday where I posted and tagged the toy company. And also you can follow the Instagram page at Tease Toys. Again, this is a black-owned, female-owned sex toy company based out of Philadelphia. And tonight's guest is Trey Ennis, which is a dating expert, relationship expert, romance expert. And so let me just go ahead and check and see if he's ready to tune in. Hold on, you guys. Let me see. I sent him the live. How is everybody doing today? How's everybody? Oh, he joined. Hold on. Let me go ahead and request. He is on time.
All right.
Hi, Trey. How are you?
We are live.
We are live, but you are lopsided.
Well, I can't do it portrait.
No.
Because I got to do it landscape because my little tripod only does landscape. Oh wait, hold on.
I think you can turn it around.
No.
I can see you that way. Oh no, this is gonna be so weird to see you looking sideways like this.
This is like what's the guy? Teddy Riley's
yes,
this is literally what's happening right now.
Oh gosh.
Oh bollocks.
Do you have it on? Do you have a phone?
Yeah, that's
on
what
your
it's
iPhone?
on right now. It's on my phone.
It's on your phone. You're on Instagram Live on your phone, and it's giving you the portrait.
Yeah. So
landscape?
my camera, so like the tripod is like it's on a landscape as opposed to portrait. So yeah, I could hold it like this for like 45 minutes, but that would be
no. Can you like lean it to the side?
Yeah. Oh God. I'm wondering. Hold on a second. I'm wondering if it's gonna.
So you have it hold. Okay, so it's holding from the side instead of.
It's these newfangled technologies never work when you want them to. So it is
because I'm on top of you, and then everybody's looking at you from the side.
The side like this. Hold on a second.
To the side.
You know, all right. What's this? No. I really should have figured this out beforehand.
No, we're gonna figure it out now. Don't worry about it. We're gonna figure it out now.
Okay, maybe if I like prop it on something.
You can prop it on a box.
I'll be like this. Hey, how handsome do I look right now? Like someone's 55-year-old dad right now. Hello.
Not 55. 55 doesn't look that young. Not anymore.
Okay. Hold on a sec. We're gonna figure this out. This is Edmund, by the way. He's eating. He's embarrassed. All right. We're gonna figure this out. Oh, here we go. I got like a protein shake bottle I can use.
And you prop it up. That way we can just sit here and we can actually look at you head on and sit on the side.
Yeah. We're gonna make this work. Trust me, we're gonna make this work. Okay, unos, dos, tres. Okay.
Is that the prop?
All right. Pray for me.
I'm praying. I'm praying.
Okay, here we go. Here's one. Here's two. Prop it up. Let's see if this works. All right.
Perfect. Yay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Trey Ennis here joining us tonight on Go Live with Glow. So you are a dating, relationship, romance expert, correct?
Yeah, I wouldn't say expert, a coach more.
Coach. Okay. So explain exactly what is it that you do.
So basically, initially it started off with, I was writing a book about dating and relationships, right? And then I was like, well, I need a social media following if anyone's going to buy that crap, right? So I initially started off with just 50 followers and I just started random opinions and thoughts from myself and other people. And then it kind of took off. And then when I hit like around 500 followers, random people were sliding in my DM and asking for advice. And now I just give free consultations, mainly with people's online dating profiles and just random stuff. Like if people are dealing with situationships, relationships that have ended, you know, coping mechanisms, you know, all good things, dating for essentially millennials, people in their 20s. And a lot of my clients actually are divorced people, 50 plus too. So there's a lot of that.
Really?
Yeah.
So where are you originally from? Because I know everybody's hearing the accent. So where are you originally from?
Yeah, so born and raised in London, moved here after my MBA around 2014, October, and have been here ever since.
So where are you located at right now?
So I moved from Utah to Ohio.
Okay, so how long were you in Utah? Like Salt Lake City?
I was in Salt Lake City for about 4 years, and then I was in New York beforehand.
Oh, okay, because I'm based out of New York City. Well, based out of New York. I live in New York City. I'm from New York, so I'm here now in New York City.
Okay.
And isn't Salt Lake City like 90% Mormon though?
Yeah, that was the difficulty until I like started figuring out the ropes and understanding exactly how it works out.
Why specifically Salt Lake City though? From London to Salt Lake City.
Yeah, it wasn't, to be honest, I didn't really know where Salt Lake City was. When I graduated from my MBA, the top 10 percentile of the class, we were invited to like a job fair, and there were a couple of different opportunities there. And at the time, eBay, they had like, they were saying, hey, we love international employees, blah, 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 blah. And they have a massive office in Utah. And they kept saying, yeah, you know, Utah's about 45 minutes away from California. So me not knowing anything about Utah, I thought it was a city in California, right? So turns out they meant 45 minutes via plane. So I kind of got
Because I was sitting there like, it's not 45 minutes away from California. That math is wrong, but maybe he knows something I don't know. Like 45 minutes of flight. Okay.
Exactly. So they finessed my lack of knowledge, and here I am.
Okay, so now you're in Ohio. So what is the dating scene like in Ohio? Columbus, Ohio, correct?
Yeah, yeah. So it's, you know, Utah's different because Utah is like, you know, every other person you talk to, you got to say, are you Mormon? Right. And,
Right.
you know, if either they're Mormon or they're not. And then, you know, 50% of the population there is, so your opportunities there are almost slashed by about 50%. Right. So it's, you know, people are a lot more, I don't want to say thirsty, but they're far more ready to date because options are very slim anyway. And the population there is 1.25% Black people. So that's interesting. Uh, Whereas, you know, here, you know, dating here is very interesting, to say the least.
Please share. Please tell us, because I know what dating is like here in New York City. New York City is like everyone is someone, everyone's trying to be someone, and because of the pandemic, it's definitely kind of like sort of. I mean, I'm personally not dating anymore, but when I was dating, the dating scene was really rough for me.
No, I saw your bow, your boot, your bay. You guys look very good together.
Thank you very much. Me and him have a child together. We share a son together. We have children from outside of our relationship. So we
Okay.
have a blended family. So I have two bonus sons, and then I have a daughter from a previous relationship, and then we have a son together, and we're trying to figure it out while we're in the relationship. And I guess, you know, every day we're just trying to figure out what works best for us, not necessarily works best for everyone else. And the dynamic is definitely different, but I mean, it works. At least
That's
we're making it work. We're doing the best that we can, especially in the pandemic right now. It's definitely rough right now. Like
of course.
we're in between homes. We're trying to get it together, but we're working on it though.
Yeah, I think in the pandemic, relationships that occurred beforehand are either going to get stronger or they're done right now.
Yes, I think everybody is like either this is gonna break us or make us. Like this amount of time that you've had to spend with someone has been. I mean, there's no other distraction. There is no work. There is no time apart. It's just like wake up in the morning. Good morning. I'm right here in your face. Good morning. I'm right here in the bathroom. Good morning. Right here. So there's really no real space. I mean, I've appreciated the time because I've had a lot of downtime to spend with my children, but I know other people are suffering. I actually, before we did this show, I was playing Cupid. So I was playing Cupid via Instagram, and I have one successful relationship that I did a hookup maybe 11 years ago, and they're now married. They've been married for 5 years. They've been together for 12 years, and they now have a 1-year-old son. So I think I'm good. I think I'm good. Right, right. I know that I'm good at this. I say, trust me, I'm really good at reading between the BS when it comes to men and women. I could kind of figure out, like, okay, this works. This one works here. This one works here. So I've been doing this little Instagram, like, send me your profile, send me what you're looking for, send me what you want to know, and I can kind of see if I can fix you up with someone else. So I did one and it failed. And I really just think that the one of the people wasn't open, because I don't want to say which one because they're probably watching it. Somebody wasn't open. And I think it's important that when you're dating, that you just be open to what you may find. Because I've been on a lot of blind dates with people I probably would have never stopped to talk to, but I'm friends with them still, and we're still cool. And I know that I can call and count on them. So like, how important is it to be open, when you're dating? Like, when you're first starting out dating, like give me some of your coaching.
Yeah, so, I feel like you have to be incredibly open, because essentially I always say to people, so long as you're physically attracted to someone, and they have, the top 10 character attributes that are going to make you happy and that essentially you can live with, everything else is really fair play, to be honest, right? For example, let's say my type is, I like women with short hair, like Jada Pinkett, right? Let's say that was my type. And if I only went for women like that, it would be extremely difficult for me. But if I turned around and said, here are my top 10 characteristics I need from a woman in order to be happy, and so long as I'm attracted to her, it expands your reach so much more. And you kind of have to start thinking, okay, I'm typically attracted to these type of people. But then you have to start figuring out, what personality traits from those particular individuals do I like, and start, taking away insignificant things. For example, right, for the longest time, I was in a situation where I was like, if she don't wear heels and she don't wear dresses, then she's not feminine, and that's not the woman for me, right? Which is completely asinine, right? But I'll never forget, and this happens, this is typically before the pandemic, where I met most people I ended up in a relationship with. I was at the Kroger's, and, she was wearing some busted old Converses, and she was wearing like a sweatshirt, and I was like, this chick looks homeless, but she looks good.
I love busted Converse, though. That's my favorite thing to throw on.
In the shower. Wait, can I swear on this? I just cursed.
Yes, you can. You can curse. It's okay. It's fine. No, you can curse. Go ahead. It's fine.
Struck in the shit out of him, and I remember we were talking, and I was just like, hey, we should go grab a coffee, blah blah blah, obligatory pour a coffee, and like, I fell in love with her, and she turned out to be an incredible person. So what I'm saying is, a lot of people aren't open to insignificant things, right? For example, I have a homie who loves hiking, but he loves hiking, he loves camping, he loves fishing. He's that cliche guy with a big ass fish in his Tinder profile, okay? And for the longest time, he used to say, I have to date someone who's outdoors. If she's not outdoors, I'm not having it, blah, 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 blah. But now he's dating someone who's a writer for Vogue magazine, which he would never have done before. Because ultimately, hiking, fishing, all that good stuff is great, but that does not make a solid relationship. That does not make a solid. You have to think about those things that make a solid relationship, marriage, partnership, whatever you want to call it, as opposed to insignificant vanity wants. That's what I call them.
And so what are the vanity ones, with the high heels, or just like those specific characteristics that you may want?
Vanity wants, for example, would be, I need someone who likes hip hop and old school R&B like me. I need someone who dresses very well. I need someone who likes the same TV shows. If she ain't watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I can't mess with her, right? Like, I need someone who drives a nice car. I need someone who's 6 foot, right? Which is only 40% of American men. Let's go. But those things are just vanity likes that people say. I need someone with a deep voice, right? Like, if you have a son who, heaven forbid, gets cancer, you're not going to turn around and say, oh, but he has a deep voice. Woohoo! Like,
right.
Like that.
Oh, wow. And I feel so bad, because the guy actually is about to, I saw him just join the live. And I really, really tried with the two of them. And I thought that they would have been a perfect match, my little Instagram match that I did.
But I don't think that she was just really open to it, and it kind of just went south. It made me like, really say to myself, like, people always say they want to date someone, they want to get to know someone. I always say that if you're open to a blind date, you never know where it can lead, and maybe you can get the opportunity to kind of know what it feels like to be courted. I think a lot of women don't know what it feels like to be courted. A lot of my dates that I've been on that were like really good dates were with people, again, that I would have never actually probably sought out by myself. Like
Incredible.
seriously, I mean, like I've gone on some really, really good dates with some people that other people have hooked me up, but I've never been the one to be like, I have a specific checklist. This guy has to check off these amount of things in order for me to be, able to consider them. There's been a lot of people that I've talked to just to see where it goes, just to
Mm.
see where it goes. And if it doesn't go anywhere, then, at least I tried. I'm really big on I tried. I tried to see where it was at.
Because
So go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't hear you.
regret will always be what could have been as opposed to already what's come to pass, right? So I love the fact that
Right.
you're full of interactions.
Yeah, I mean, you'd never know. The guy that I went on a blind date with, it didn't work between us. And then he wound up having like a side job, and I did like a little gig, and he was a DJ. He was a DJ at my one of my gigs that I did. Yeah, like he was there and full support of whatever it is that I wanted to do. Like he's always been there, like in my corner. He's become one of my closest friends. The date
Yeah.
was great. It's just that I think the timing of when we met each other really wasn't good, and that's just what it was. But I was open, and I'm happy that I gained a friend. Every relationship and everything, that you do doesn't always have to end romantically. And I felt
Yeah.
really bad because I was like, the guy is still like, hey, did you find me somebody else? And I have to find him somebody else. So if anybody is watching this and you're single, please send me your information so I can find the guy somebody else.
Right, right.
So what are your thoughts on the dating sites and apps? Because I know during the pandemic, like in the beginning of the shutdown, that's all people really had was a
Yeah.
dating site.
I mean, dating apps have always been there, and statistically, every year its usage goes up, as does the age group. But now dating apps have increased, last time I checked, by about 35%, which means it's nuts compared to this time last year, which is typically cuffing season when everyone's off the dating apps, right? Even
Right.
are dating than before. And what's interesting is you're going to get two kinds of people. You're either going to get people that just want to meet face to face because they trust a one-on-one interaction, or you're going to have people who do a video chat, or you're going to have people, which I advise, do at least 3 to 4 video chats, because that really is going to be like a stamp of approval. Like if you can't get along after 3 video chats, why in God's green earth would you go and meet this person?
Right.
And I almost say that video chats are something that should have been happening before, to just save yourself some time. Because, the amount of times, I want to say around end of September, I had about 3 video chats, and they were trying. I was just like, like, I kept trying to get blood out of a stone, and the people I spoke to were just, quite frankly, atrocious communicators. And I remember thinking, ooh, imagine if I spent that bread on those drinks. But like, I didn't, right? And I just remember thinking, man, I should have been doing this years ago. So, I think people are a lot more judicious with their dating right now. But
Right.
then the problem with online dating is it's very much like Netflix or Amazon Prime or Hulu, where you have so many options of what to watch. Eventually,
Mm-hmm.
and watch a Blu-ray anyway.
Not a Blu-ray.
You know
So
what
what
I
are your
mean?
top three dating sites? What are your top 3 dating sites that you recommend to people?
So it depends on what you want. If you want sincere, genuine, authentic, potentially monogamous relationship, Hinge is always going to be A1.
I don't think I've ever used Hinge before.
Hinge has an algorithm where essentially it matches you with the attractive level of who you're talking to. So if certain women or certain men keep liking your pictures of a certain attraction level, then it's going to match you with people. And then it also
Mm.
the algorithm of the kind of conversations you have. So if the EEL, what's it, ELLO, some crazy acronym that basically is about like how attractive people are. If
Right.
that communicating with who's liking you and who you're liking, then you actually end up getting a pretty good match that you feel like is conducive to what you find attractive. And
Okay.
you comment on people's questions that they've answered, which makes it very interesting. You no longer just like a picture and say, hey, hot stuff, right? And then you've got Tinder, which, you know, again, is just a cliche. Tinder's nuts these days. A lot of people on there are literally just IG, Snapchat. Add me on Snapchat. Add me on IG. No bio.
That happened I think maybe like 3 years ago when I was on Tinder. Like people have their Snapchat and IG on there. It's just like basically like bait. I think Tinder is like bait. It's just to bait you to come down to the dark side. Like, just give me your IG so I can just see what you look like, see the rest of your pictures, and just kind of let's just hurry this up.
I mean, it's not even that. I would wager to say 50%, if not more, on Tinder. They're not looking for anything remotely close. It's literally like, I want more Snapchat followers. I need validation. I want Instagram followers. I want to hook up. Like the effort on Tinder is minimal. So that one's complete. But if you want to hook up, go through and get COVID. Do you know what I mean? So
not get COVID.
happen, like, because those I wouldn't date someone on Tinder if you paid me to. And then you've got Bumble, which is great because it empowers women to say, hey, how are you? Just like the men. So you've got that. But I would say those are the big three, really. You've got BLK, which, you know,
I've heard of that one.
Is essentially like Black people meet for younger millennials and Generation Ys. And BLK is okay, but it's essentially every single online dating platform are full of incessant small talk. That is it. Incessant small talk. People think a large majority are hooking up. To some degree, that's true. But most people are just doing this. Hey, how are you? Not bad. How are you? How was your day? Great, thanks. How was your day? Great.
I hate small talk, though. I hate small talk. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I just hate it. I hate small talk. Like, let's just get to the meat and potatoes. And that's probably my problem. Like, I'm so, like, aggressive. I'm like, okay, what are you looking for while you're here?
What's that word you just used, though?
Which word?
Aggressive, right?
Yes, I'm aggressive.
If you're a woman and a man doesn't like small talk and he just wants to take you out and he says that, that's the immediate thought that women think. Oh, he's aggressive. And then he's wiped down, clean.
Sometimes, but for me, it's like, okay, we got to the point of it all. You know what I'm saying? So let's get to the point of this all. Like, you know, I'm a good communicator for the most part. So I would try to like open it up, the small talk. Not rush to the date, but more so like, so what is it, you know, what brings you to Bumble, or what brings you to Tinder, or what brings you here? Like, why are you here? You know, what's your problem? Why can't you find anyone on the outside? Like, that would be more of my conversation, like on the outside, what's going on? You know, I start asking more detailed questions because, you know, essentially it's a little bit of an interview. I'm interviewing you, you're interviewing me. So, you know, let's kind of like open this up, because if we keep doing the, hey, 5-hour reply. Hey, because, you know, in the app, it's not like notifications on your phone. You have to keep continuously checking it to kind of see where the conversation is going. So I was cruising on your page, and I want to let you know how I found you too. I found you. I Googled experts, Black sex experts, and you showed up, and there was like 21 top dating experts on Instagram. And you showed up in the article on Cosmo. And then I reached out to you. I emailed you. And then I was going to do a follow-up email. And then I was sitting in my room and Netflix was on. And you came across the TV. I swear to you not. Like, you came. It was the freakiest thing ever. I'm sitting here. I'm like, you know, I'm going to go ahead and hit this guy Trey up to see if like he still wants to come, you know, see if the schedule's okay. You know, we already set a date. Let me just go ahead and see. And a preview of you showed up across the TV. And I said, oh, snap. I said, let me email this guy right now. How was that experience? I mean, this is totally off topic, but I know that you got something designed, correct?
Yeah, so it's actually when I was living in Salt Lake City. I sold my house about 2.5 months ago because that added like an extra amount of money to my home. And I was like, it's COVID. I better cash out before the market.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which it will. But basically, I was at a mixer, a young professionals mixer that I used to host for Salt Lake City. And, you know, this dude who seemed a bit off, and I wanted to introduce him to some people. But we ended up getting him drunk, and he was a great time. And he was like, I'm a producer, man. I want to get you on Netflix. And I'm drunk, so I'm like, yeah, Netflix. Right? And then like 2 days later, he hits me up via email and he says, this is the show. So I was like, So I still thought it was like a borderline weird scam thing, right? Until the crew showed up at my house. I was like, oh, this is for real, huh? And then we negotiated, you know, how much money they were going to put into the house and how much I was going to contribute. I had to contribute, I think 20%. And it was just, it was interesting. I think the aftermath has been my Z-list celebrity 10 seconds of fame, which has been very interesting.
Why do you say that? What's been so interesting about it?
Well, unbeknownst to me, in the whole show, if you notice, they kept saying, Trey, a bachelor from London, right?
Right.
Yeah. Like this seems like a finesse job. Like, I don't know. I never even said that, right? But like, you know, I started getting people sliding in my DMs. You know, the gay community as well, which, you know, love you guys, by the way.
Wow.
And hey, like, are you for our side? I'm like, you know what? I'm with
Not
you.
for our side.
With you. I'm just not there. You know, I'm at the Pride Festival, but I'm not at the Pride Festival. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm an ally.
So,
I'm an ally.
I had a few of them, and you know, I'll tell you a creepy story actually, which is kind of funny. So someone messaged me, and you know, she was just like, "Yeah, I loved you on the show." I was like, "Oh, thank you so much. Like, I appreciate it." And she's like, "Oh, you know, where'd you stay at?" So I'm thinking she's probably in, you know, some random state, random country. She goes,
Right.
"I'm in Ohio." She goes, "Oh, I'm in Ohio too." And I was like, "Oh no!" Like,
Oh no. Like,
oh,
oh no.
you know what I mean? Like, I hope nothing happens, right? So, you know, she sends me these voice messages, right? And I'm just like, like, I'm not trying to be that guy, so I just kind of ignore it, right?
Right.
Like, one day, I'm about to post something on my Instagram, right? But, like, you know how you can do a video chat in there?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I'm in the video chat, and I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, what the hell? No. Like, I'm turning it off. Like, calls me 5 times. So I'm like, oh my goodness, good grief. I'm like, hey, what's up? She goes, hey, like, I'm downtown. I wanted to know where you are, you know, if you wanted to come for some drinks. I was like, yeah, you know, I'll let you know, kind of thing.
She was shooting her shot, Trey. She was shooting her shot.
But
She was shooting her shot.
See, here's the thing about me, right? I'm very literal. So if she had said, you know what, Trey, I'd like to go out and get drinks with you, then I could have politely declined. But when people don't do that, it's like I can't say no because you haven't said yes. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, I understand. So she wasn't really clear about what her intentions were.
Right.
So she was creeping you out and being aggressive.
Trust me, there's about 50 other stories. Like, there was a lot of MAGA people. So, like,
oh no,
my profile was open, right?
right.
But people kept adding me, and I was like, okay, well, go on. What the hell? Like, MAGA Instagram pictures and stuff. And I was like, first of all, why are you watching that show? Number 2, you hate me. Why would you want to like follow me on Instagram?
Oh
so
my gosh.
Facebook, and my LinkedIn, and my Instagram.
Oh God, Jesus Christ. So I was gonna ask you, Jesus Christ, Trey, we gotta make sure you're okay. I was gonna ask you, like, you have this video that you put on there about the reasons why people are single. Do you want to break that down for us? Because you said a lot of things in that video, and I said, I'm officially toxic. Like, I was a toxic person, because you said that even if you're dating, you're not technically single, correct? Please explain that, because all my life I've been saying, if we're not in a relationship, then I can do whatever I want to do, and I can date around.
Right. So, you know, the mind is such a crazy thing. You know, what perpetuates your mind, the people who perpetuate your mind are eventually what you become. You are the top 5 people you spend time with. You are the constant thoughts that are in your mind, right? So unfortunately, because of that, in the last 10 years, all of us have become very empowered in regards to dating and relationships. Every year we get further and further from traditions our parents had, right? Because, you know, we're free. We're about instant gratification. You know, we can get that in the space of half an hour, etc., etc. But because of that, a lot of people, we have it, you know, embedded in our head now that if we're not in a relationship with someone, because there's no official title, we can do whatever the hell we want. Furthermore, if we are single, right, we can date someone until we find the person that we're supposed to be with who's a way better match. But this doesn't work out, because here's what happens. If I'm the person who's hooking up with someone until something better comes along, right? Let's say something better does come along, and I break up with that person that was essentially a placeholder, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I get with this other person, guess what happens with me and the other person? Break up with me, because what has she found? I was the placeholder for her, and then she's found someone better. Guess what happens to her? And it's a horrible, vicious cycle. Because essentially what you have is you have what I like to call the bottom 70%. Okay.
Okay.
Now, the bottom 70% are, to be blunt, people who are poor communicators, people who don't really take care of themselves, have low social EQ, and don't really know how to date, essentially. That's why I write. I'm trying to help them. Because, you know, 70% of every single sex online goes for the top 30%, despite their circumstance. So what is essentially that top 30% is having the time of their life, breaking the 70% heart. And that's why when people are single, they must truly be single. Because let's say if someone such as yourself meets an incredible man, he's saying the right things, he's a God-fearing man, he loves his family, ex-vet, now owns a bookstore, also has a dog. Do you know what I mean? Like, looks like a cross between Taye Diggs and Denzel Washington, 6'3". Let's say you meet this guy, and he's right, but you know, kind of been seeing this guy, you know, you've been hooking up, and you kind of like him, but you know he's not really ready to commit. And let's say you continue seeing this other perfect guy. If he does one thing wrong, you say, oh, well, he's just not the guy for me. And I'm still seeing the other guy, so it's not a big deal, which means a lot of people are missing out on huge, huge opportunities with who they're supposed to be with, because they're spending time with someone who they're not supposed to be with out of fear of being rejected with the person they are supposed to be with.
I would say this, in my dating history, I think that each time I've talked to someone, I've been completely single. Like, I haven't been attached to anyone else. Like, there was no one else that I could be attached to. But I think in my past, I would leave someone that really cared about me for someone who wanted to be in a relationship with me really fast, because I don't know, I needed that security. Like, the idea of someone saying, I want you to be my girlfriend, was more appealing than someone saying, you know, I'm not really ready for commitment, but I do like spending time with you. I don't know. I felt like I was in limbo. Like, I didn't feel like I was secure, as if being in a relationship meant that this person wasn't going to do things to hurt my feelings as well. So you learn that as you get older, because the relationship, someone saying, hey, I want you to be my girlfriend, or I want you to be my boyfriend, it just sounds more secure, opposed to somebody saying, I just want to just hang out with you and get to learn you. That doesn't sound appealing. Why? Like, that just sounds like I'm wasting time. That sounded like I was wasting time back then. Like, the getting to know you part just sounds like I'm wasting time. Like, what are we getting to know about each other? Why can't we get to know each other in the relationship? Like, why can't we get to know each other after we become boyfriend and girlfriend? So that was always like my hang up. And I ended up in a lot of like really bad situations. I actually left someone and got in a relationship with someone else, and left the person that look at me thinking about it now as I talk about it. I left someone and got in a relationship with someone else without even breaking off the other relationship. And we had a child together. Not my son, my daughter. My daughter. We had a daughter together. But yes. Yeah, I left. I just left. And I got in and it was a bad relationship. I will say that. It was a very, very bad relationship. But I was very young. And so what you're saying, it makes a lot of sense. But how are you supposed to date then if you're not really single? How do you date multiple people? Are you not supposed to date multiple people?
So, you know, it really depends, right? I think, you know, to be blunt, I think the selfish side of us wants to date multiple people, because we always want to make sure we're getting the best options, right? However, deep down, you know, if you're only supposed to be dating someone exclusively. Let me give you an example, right?
Please do.
First dates with women where I'm like, oh my God, like, she's an incredible person, right? I should probably date her and see where it goes, right? However, you know, I'm like, yeah, but you know, I'm single right now, man. I'm in shape. I got my job work. I should probably see what's out there. But deep down, I knew that she was a woman that I should be dating, right? So I think a lot of people need to be more risk. They need to take more risk with that, and they need to be very clear. So now, if I go on, you know, 1 to 3 dates with someone and I really like her and I want to pursue this, I'm always going to say, look, I'm not seeing anyone right now. Are you seeing someone else right now? If she says, yeah, I'm still dating around, I'm going to cut it off immediately, because you always want to be with someone who's reciprocitous, but you have
Right.
to communicate exactly where you're at. Because if someone can't do that on your level, then they're not the one for you. Now, I don't say you shouldn't date around, but you should never date around if there's literally no reason to, just for the sake of dating around. Well, I have to see what else is out there. What else is out there? She's right in front of you. Like, he's right in front of you. I think because we are burdened with glorious opportunity in regards to how many people we can date, we feel like because there are so many people, there could be better options. When in reality, finding someone that aligns with about 70 or 80% of our paradigms is an extremely hard thing to do. So when
Right.
you find that, you shouldn't be thinking, oh, there should be something better. What you should be thinking is, how can I start the growth process together? How can I figure out more things about this person to solidify if what I'm feeling right now is a sincere feeling that could lead into future commitment? But you have
Mm-hmm.
to openly and vulnerably communicate that, because if you don't, you're not going to say anything because you don't want to fold. And they're not going to,
Right.
because they don't want to fold. And then you both end up going your separate ways because no one said anything.
Don't make me revisit my past, please. So why is dating so hard for millennials though? Like,
um,
why is it? Relationships, not even dating, the relationships. Once you get past the dating phase and you get into a relationship, why are the relationships so hard?
I, you know, it always will go down to the paradigm and misguided representation of too many options. And
Right.
I don't know what happened, but we don't forgive people for minor things anymore. We don't forgive people for disagreeing of opinions. We don't forgive people for basic shit that you would forgive, you know, your close friends and your close family for someone we're trying to have a,
My mother's in the section. My mom's here. My mother said because we don't listen. That's what she said.
that's another thing. Like
My
it's
mom says because millennials don't listen.
I think we have a perfect view of someone that we fail to understand that people are very much imperfect, and we just always feel like there's going to be another option, because technically there are. If you join an online dating app, you're going to have 100+ options, but in reality those options, and here's how it is, 70% are probably just either looking for more followers, they're looking to hook up, they're not emotionally healed, they have no idea how to communicate. The other 30%, I would say 10% might be in relationships. They might be in open relationships. They might be hooking up with someone, which means they're not available anyway. That last 20%, slash half of that, because the other 10% is just looking to hook up. And that last 10% are the only people who are looking for relationships. That's if you can communicate openly with each other. And that's if you swallow up your pride and ask good questions, which means that false paradigm of all those options are trash. And when you find a good man or when you find a good woman, you have to bite the bullet and allow yourself to be vulnerable. And you are going to get hurt again and again. That's the process of being in the dating game. You have to take L's if you want to find L, aka love.
Them L's hurt so bad. Me and my friend always talk about that. I said it's the silent L's that killed me the most. The ones nobody even knew that I took. That I'm
But
still like, like those took some healing. I never took an outside L. I always took like a small L. Like I would be seeing someone and they wouldn't be here anymore. And they'd be like, "What?" I'm like, I don't know what happened to him. I don't talk to him no more though. And that's just, I don't know what happened to him. I don't know. I don't know where he's at. But I was listening to the podcast that you did with 51st dates, and you said something about forgiveness that like really like rectified in me because I am seeing a therapist and I do believe in having good mental health. And one of the things that the therapist asked me about was like forgiveness. And I said to her, she said, "Can you forgive?" And I was like, I've never had to forgive anybody in my whole life. Not really. I just kind of just like cut them off or just stop speaking to them. And, you know, we never really resolved anything. Like, I just don't like the forgiveness part is something that I'm learning as I become older, how that works. Like, I never asked nobody to forgive me either, though. I never really asked for any forgiveness. I just kind of just like let it go. Especially like in relationships. Like, if there was something that was going on, like, I've really been like one of those women that in my relationships, when things went south, I left. Like, I left immediately. Like, immediately. I'm like, fool me once. I'm part of the fool me once club. You only get one opportunity, and after that, I'm out of here. And with this, you know, new relationship that I had with the children involved, I've had to constantly keep checking myself and keep forgive myself first, then keep forgiving, you know, the other person that's in a relationship with me, and know that we do make mistakes. That's been really, really hard. Like, for me personally, like the forgiveness part has been struggle for me, like very stressful. And it's like the struggle. So you had said something about forgiveness, about you were in a relationship. The reason why it didn't work is because you weren't forgiven.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just both weren't we weren't able to move past certain arguments that we had because we couldn't forgive each other and move past them. And, you know, in hindsight, I think that was wrong for the both of us. And I feel like, you know, forgiveness is the mother and foundation of any relationship. No solid, successful, loving, committed relationship will ever get to where it is today without the highest degree of forgiveness. I think the only things that you should consider whether you should forgive or not are infidelity, physical and emotional abuse. That's it. Other than that, like, you should pretty much be able to forgive anything, in my opinion, because I think that people really aren't human. People have to look at their significant other or the person they're dating and say, one day they're going to snap. One day they might even shout at me. One day we're going to have a huge disagreement, because there's a difference between a disagreement and an argument. Disagreements are healthy, big arguments not so much, right? You're going to have a lot of disagreements, and you have to prepare for that, because if you don't mentally prepare for that, when it does happen, this is what people say. Oh, it shouldn't be this hard. The love of my life would never say that. Well, who is the love of your life? Because I need to, is he perfect? Like, you know, let me know, because I'm trying to learn from him. Do you know what I mean? It's just not a reality. And I always say to people, look, would you rather date a man or woman who keeps things in and never tells you how angry they really are, until one day that volcano is so big, none of you are moving past that? You do not want to be that person.
Right. So I always ask all my guests to leave a jewel before they leave out. Like, just leave something for us to just carry with us. So you dropped so many though. But can you just drop one more before you go?
Yeah. Some people aren't gonna like this, but I have to tell myself that every now and then. Everyone who is listening, get over yourself. You are not all that. Are you an incredible person? Yes. Are you motivated, passionate? Do your parents love you? Yes, we all do. However, you are not all that. You are not perfect. You need to have accountability for the mistakes that you make, and you need to improve on them. Relationships and dating consists of two people, okay? If you can look at yourself after every dating relationship or scenario you've had and know things that you could have done better, you are going to find the person that you're supposed to be with. But you have to be able to correct your own negative paths of destruction, some of which I still do today. And I have to look at myself in the mirror, dead ass, and just be like, ooh, yo, I messed up. I got to stop doing that, right? So just make sure that you are very clear on things that you need to improve. Constant improvement when it comes to relationships. The more you try and improve who you are, the more you work on yourself, the more you're going to get closer to what you truly deserve. And I believe that everyone truly deserves to fall in love, but you can't truly fall in love unless, one, you love yourself, and one, you know that you're not perfect and there are an abundance of things you need to improve on.
So how can we find you, and what is up next for you? What is up next?
So thefirstdatefix.com, my YouTube, obviously my Instagram, where I do most of my work, quite frankly. On Valentine's Day 2021, I'm going to be releasing a book about the first initial dates. And then hopefully a year after that, it's going to be about relationships.
Ooh.
We'll see. I also have an agent right now, so you might see me on Netflix or something else.
Really? Well, I'm so happy that I had to get you before you got really big on us, because I probably might not be able to get you later on. I might not be able to get you. I might not be able to get you.
And the biggest I'm going to have is about 30 copies of my book, and most of them will be my mom and my family.
Well, I will be sure to buy your book and definitely let everybody know that you have this book that's coming out. I want to thank you so much for coming on and having this conversation. A lot of guys, I saw the guys inside of the comment section. They were like, you need to have this guy on here more often. We need to see him more often. So I want to thank you so much for coming. I don't know. Are you going to watch the Versus with Gucci Mane?
The Versus?
Yes, Versus TV. Are you going to watch Gucci Mane and I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. Jeezy.
Oh,
Jeezy.
Right. Gucci Mane fell off. Jeezy's got this.
I don't know. We gotta hurry up. That's why this is why the live is so early. I usually go on 8, but I knew that was happening, so I had to go ahead and push everything up for the Versus.
What about my snowman?
Oh my gosh. So I want to thank you again and say good night. Good night to everybody else that tuned in. Next week, I will not be having a live. It is Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And thank you so much again, Trey. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. God bless.
Good night.